prove he's Triple Crown caliber, Forging needs to run a mile in less than 1 minute 40 seconds. He competes against another Bonita horse, ridden by Kevin's wife, Chris.
Once that filly's up,
Forging blows them away. He made the time easily. And he was not only fast, but determined.
Well, he broke sharp, broke like a bullet, and then jumped right in front of that filly. And then the other filly tried to come back, so I just let him come to the finish. And did exactly what we wanted him to. Come on, big guy.
He got the wake-up call. We've been trying to get with him. The time was there. You know, he finally reached down and put something into it. And the pretty part was you could see coming to the finish that there was more there. If you'd wanted to reach and strap him and ask for it, you had more.
After such a spectacular showing, Forging is ready to take his next step on the long road to the Triple Crown, the first race of his life, coming up in Philadelphia in 2 weeks. Next, Billy steps in to help a mare named Queen Tap have her foal. During foaling season, Billy is always on call. And a night watchman is also on duty in the mare barn from 9 p.m. till dawn. If a mare goes into labor, he phones Billy, who is there for the birth of every foal. It usually is the middle of the night when the mares give birth. It's a remnant of their wild past when they had their foals under cover of darkness to protect them from predators. Proud Greta still isn't ready to have her foal, but a chestnut named Queen Tap is. Billy, who learned most of what he knows about horses from his dad, has delivered close to 1,000 foals. Queen Tap is in good hands.
Even today, each time I see a mare have a foal, it's just as special then as it was the first time.
At first, she seems to be doing fine. But after about 20 minutes, Billy steps in. Queen Tap had a hard time having her first foal last year, and now she's in trouble again.
You could tell the foal was a really big foal. She probably would have had it eventually on her own, but the foal would have been much more exhausted, and so was she. And I helped her out, but you only help them out when they're contracting. I waited until she had another set of contractions before I assisted her in pulling the foal out.
Queen Tap is the proud mother of a strong, healthy filly, born on Valentine's Day.
You're a very good mom. Yes, you are. You are a very good mom. And a little Valentine.
Within an hour, after a number of valiant attempts, the baby stands up. But it will take a little longer before she can see where she's going.
What they do is they learn their boundaries. You know, they go around and bounce off the walls back and forth. But they'll always try to come to the door first because they feel the breeze coming in, the wind, so they think it's the mother. That's why they get sometimes confused right at the beginning.
It's critical that the foal nurse within the next few hours because horses aren't born with immunity against disease like most animals. They have to get their antibodies from their mother's milk.
I think this is a pretty healthy baby. I wish they were all like this. Very inquisitive already, looking for its mother's nipple already everywhere. You know, he's trying to suck on everything. Ultimately, we're trying to win the big one, win the Preakness, win the Triple Crown. That's what everybody's dream is. When they have a foal hit the ground, they look at it and you say, could that be the one? You never know. And that's what's the neat thing about this game, is you really just don't know.
Coming next, are Queen Tap and her foal ready for the great outdoors? 8 a.m., the morning after Queen Tap gave birth. The rest of the mares and new foals have already been taken outside. But Queen Tap and her foal have to wait for the vet to give them a clean bill of health.
Bart! Go get me a halter, a new one, please, for the baby. Right here.
Dr. Jacobson gives the baby a complete checkup and takes a blood sample to make sure her immune system is strong. There's certainly nothing wrong with her spirit.
You're a pistol.
Or pastrums. Guess you get that from Mom.
Relax. Heart's beating. 100 beats a minute there, kid.
Queen Tap and her foal are just fine. They're ready to meet the world.
Okay. You want to lead her and I'll lead baby?
Sure.
And we'll go out to the paddock.
Sure.
For her first glimpse of the outside, the foal will stick close to her mother.
All right. Your first venture into the outdoors. Oh, great new world. Sunlight. Come on. You're okay. Woo! Now you're ready to go.
Eight stalls down from Queen Tap, a mare named Vaulted has a foal with a small defect. She was born with crooked legs, a big handicap for a racehorse. Luckily, the problem is easily corrected by minor surgery.
The knees are in and the legs go out when they're supposed to be straight up and down. What that does is it causes a lot of stress on the outside of the knees and the inside of the knees, because not all the pressure is coming down center and going all the way, all the concussion goes down through the leg.
The foal is 1 month old. Her legs just developed enough for the operation to be effective. Billy has Vaulted put in a stall directly across from her baby. She'll be less upset about the separation if she can see what's going on. Dr. Jacobson gives the foal anesthesia, potentially the most dangerous part of the surgery. His assistant checks the foal's reflexes every few minutes to make sure she's not too deeply sedated. Jacobson removes a small amount of bone on one side of each of the foal's front legs. This should stimulate growth in the other direction. It's a surgery he's performed hundreds of times with an 80% success rate.
It's going to be several months before I see any effect of the operation today. But I'm hoping that it'll take that crooked leg problem that he has where his knees are a little bit offset towards the inside of his leg. It'll stimulate the growth and make it grow out, and they'll straighten up.
Although she's a little groggy, it's important for her to get up and moving so blood can circulate back to her legs. Then Billy reunites mother and baby.
That's the security blanket. They not have any interest in actually eating, but that's where they like to gravitate to.
Walted's baby came through surgery with flying colors. The next day, she's well on her way to a full recovery. Next time on Thoroughbred, Forging tackles his first race. And proud Greta's pregnancy will soon be over. But will there be a happy ending? Coming up on Thoroughbred, a Triple Crown hopeful competes in the first race of his career.
He's big enough not to be scared of anything, but it's always a mystery till you get over there.
A newborn fights for his life.
Keeping it alive is the first step.
Billy is his only chance. And the Bonita farm horses hit a winning streak. Forging is a stunning but untested 3-year-old thoroughbred. He's among the select few training for a shot at racing's ultimate prize, the Triple Crown. Of some 20,000 3-year-old racehorses, only about 30 even make it to the starting gate at the Derby, Preakness, or Belmont. Forging will need more than speed to make the cut. He'll need total dedication to the sport.
I think he's got heart. He's not gotten to the point of fighting the game enough to use that heart, if you know what I mean. He's just playing. When he gets competitive, then we're going to see the heart.
Bill's getting a late start training this season due to a tough winter, but he pushes on.
Steady!
He's pinned many of the hopes of the season on this green young powerhouse.
But why I think he's good is he's got a good pedigree. He's got the size, he's got the conformation, he's got no fear, and we're going to try to find out.
4 days later, Forging is about to begin his life as a racehorse. He will compete for the first time today at Philadelphia Park. One question that has dogged the big colt is whether he has the passion to run that makes a truly great athlete. At 3, he's the equivalent of a teenage boy. Bill can only hope he has the fire and the focus that he'll need to win today. And there's not only the question of spirit. The first time young horses hit the racetrack, just about anything can happen.
It's always a mystery first-time starter because sometimes they'll get stage fright and they'll stand in the gate and they'll come out last and they'll have no shots, you know. Well, for instance, Secretary got beat 18 lengths in his first start. You know what kind of horse he was. You know, as you turn right when you go in there, Tina,
Yeah.
that's where that might scare him. You know, when he sees them riders coming down, you'd be watching for that.
This is a short race, 3/4 of a mile. There'll be no time for mistakes.
You can come, got some new silks, you're not going to get them silks dirty, are you?
The moment of truth is at hand. It's post time.
Number 6 is Forging by John Nicholson, bred by Bill Boniface. The jockey is Alberto Delgado. Forging here by William Enos. And 14's in the saddle. They're in the gate. And they're off.
At the bell, forging is laid out of the gate. It's one of the worst things that can happen.
Did not bred cleanly.
He's running dead last.
And Forging is at the back of the pack, 8th and last.
It seems impossible for him to make up the lost ground.
Less than 3 furlongs to run. Forging looks to close ground toward the inside.
But he gains momentum and makes a move.
They come down to the final 8, and Regal Power has opened up a commanding 6-length advantage. Forging looking to come on late in 5th, but they're indeed.
This is the forging Bill believes in.
Regal Power will come bounding home.
From dead last, forging somehow manages to cross the finish line in 4th place.
On late to get 4th.
It's still an impressive showing for a first-timer.
Well, what do you think, Pancho, huh? Found out what it's all about, didn't you, huh?
Tina blows the dust that was kicked up during the race out of his eyes.
Different in the afternoon, ain't it? Huh?
So much class. Class.
Forging has had his first taste of what racing's all about. But will he tap that enormous power of his the next time out?
Come on, Ed. Show me your big boy. Show me your big boy. Come on.
Late February. Billy Boniface, Bill Sr.'s oldest son, has overseen the birth of 10 new foals at Bonita. There will be 27 more born this season. Some of them may grow up into top racehorses. But right now, they're just babies.
What are you doing?
One pregnant mare has the whole farm anxious about her. Proud Greta, who should have had her baby more than a month ago. It's confounding Billy and the staff.
She's due around the 5th of February, and she's now gone a year and 7 days, and normal gestation's about 340 days. So I'm really worried what's going on in there, but the vet says the foal's moving, so it's alive.
The vet gives Greta an ultrasound to see if it tells them anything more about her condition, which is almost unheard of.
The kid's any too big, Bill. In fact, it may even still be a little bit on the smaller side. Is a really rough guess.
So there's still, this far out, an opportunity for that foal to develop properly and be born normal. I think in my mind, I'm going to give it another week and see, how, if the foal develops anymore.
If they have to induce labor, the baby has only a 50-50 chance of surviving, because it may not be developed enough to live outside the womb. But neither mother nor baby can wait much longer. Next on Thoroughbred, the mystery of Greta is revealed. That night, all is quiet in the broodmare barn. Proud Greta has been pregnant for an incredible 409 days. But when the night watchman checks on her, she's quietly had her baby. It's a colt, and he's not in very good shape.
Night watchman, Bill. Come in, Bill.
Billy is on his way immediately.
Didn't get mommy. He's a little devil.
The foal is about half the size he should be.
Keeping the lives first step.
The baby's heart is racing, and he's very weak. He can't stand and nurse on his own. He's going to need some help if he's going to survive. In spite of her long pregnancy, Greta seems to be doing fine. It's her baby that's in trouble. Only now does Billy know what the problem was. She was pregnant with twins. But one fetus didn't survive past a few weeks. Still, it kept the other baby from developing normally.
It's got a shot, but, you know, it's not really gonna make this race horse. You still just, you gotta try them. Looking for it.
Billy nurses the tiny colt about every half hour through the night.
There you go.
As the hours pass, the foal's chances remain marginal. But Billy doesn't give up. About 4 a.m., he finally takes a break. Shortly after dawn, Billy is back to check on the foal. He's still alive, and his spirit is beginning to impress Billy.
He's got some fight in him.
Now, that's a good sign. Oh, God. Jeez. I'm sad to pick this thing up. It's like a wet noodle. All right. You know, if this kid gets up and stands, I think, yeah, he's gonna have a shot with it.
He continues to bottle feed the baby, whose appetite is healthy at least.
Well.
Later that morning, a small miracle has happened. Greta's foal has struggled to his feet. Billy was right. He's a fighter. He's going to make it. It's St. Patrick's Day, and so the newborn gets his name. Patrick is one lucky foal.
Oh, darn.
You gotta learn how to use them things. God put them on there for a reason. Not just to stand there and go like this.
Soon, Patrick's taken his first few wobbly steps. Bonita has another thoroughbred who's already proven his courage and heart. Next, Bonita Farm breaks out of the pack. As a top trainer, Bill Boniface has made horses his life. He has to get them in top physical condition, psychologically ready, and pick the right racing strategy.
A trainer that doesn't work hard and doesn't get there early and leave there late and doesn't think and rethink himself and try to do as many things as possible, all the small details. It's a game of details, you know.
He'd hoped to be a jockey, but turned to training when he grew to 6 feet, too tall to race.
I don't think there's anything quite like the thrill of being on a horse's back when you go under the wire. I mean, you're part of it. You're there. Of course, I got too big. I said, well, this is not good. I've got to learn another way in this game. I knew it was going to be horses for me because I could see at the horse game, the more you put into the animal, the more he would give you back. A thoroughbred horse is probably the most honest creature on the planet. They'll give you every ounce. You'll see a horse run to the wire on a broken leg, but just to have heart.
He's kept his horses and his family